Yeah, it kills everybody because it will continue on with a game called Katawa Shoujo. Oh crap, man. I got black borders because I haven't set up the background thing that I used to do in my older videos. I'll do that after this. So let's continue on. Where were we? Things you can do. There you go. Rena's already grabbed a brush and is dipping it into fresh paint. So of course she can't hear me anymore and her or doesn't answer anything even if she does. Damn, I can't read today. Then again, I just woke up. Adhering to the nurse's nagging voice in the back of my head, I set my alarm clock to wake up early enough to go jog it again. I made a promise and I'm going to keep it. Besides, Emmy's bound to rat on me if I don't show up. Sounds like a reward. But it's not all that bad. Is it? Plot twist it is. It becomes suddenly a horror movie. A horror visual novel. Katawa Shoujo, yeah. Pretty sure that is the visual novel that I am playing. My morning alarm goes off and I flail about uselessly for a while until I remember that I decided to give morning runs another shot. I don't know if this was my greatest idea, but I'm determined to keep going. This is about my health after all. Sure, things haven't been great lately for me, but that hasn't made existence so intolerable that I'm not going to try everything I can to stay healthy. Besides, it's all about asserting some kind of control over this thing, right? If I can manage that, well, I can manage anything. How is that not goddamn inspirational? At least that's what I keep telling myself. Once again, it would appear that I'm not alone in my run. Emmy has apparently been here for some time. It looks like she's already worked up a good sweat. Just when the hell does she come down here anyway? Oh, it's you. I'm surprised to see you again. Why is that? Well, not many people actually manage to come back for a second try. Oh, so that means it's okay if I didn't show up today. Cool. She frowned, seemingly annoyed by a passing thought. Like the rest of the track team, for instance. Still, it was only supposed to be on a volunteer basis, so it's not that big a shock. I thought it's a big a deal. And I guess it's pretty early in the morning. You answered your question on why the track team ain't here. I shrug and suddenly it appears that she's forgotten what she's talking about. The frown disappears entirely and she seems to snap back to her previous train of thought. So come on then. What? You're here to run again, right? Well, yeah. So come on. Wait a second. I find myself suddenly grabbed and yanked onto the track and there's a motorcycle outside. Things seem to be set on mirroring yesterday's run. That is, I seem to be struggling, while Emmy moves with an effortlessness that I find enviable. It's incredibly bothersome to be so easily worn out. I know I should be patient, work towards things gradually, but it's difficult to stay positive about this. We round the track and start on our second lap. Emmy seems to have grown impatient, keeping pace with me and begins to pull away. This is where I gave out yesterday. Will I be able to do more? Let's save here. Yeah. Go for it. What am I doing here? Am I really just going to fold and let Emmy pull ahead? A man's pride. I speed up. The second lap's done quickly and without even considering it, I keep going. Emmy looks back over her shoulder at me and grins. Still going? Well, yeah. Why you think I'm out of shape? No fair, you got them blades that help you run faster. It gives you also that stride. It helps you bounce all over the place. So yeah, kind of cheating if you ask me. Emmy laughs without breaking her stride no less and speeds up even more. Well, if this is the way we're going to play things, I increase my own pace as well. I feel my lungs burning and my legs are starting to question just what the hell I think I'm doing. Lactic acid screams in my muscles, but I close my ears. I can't let myself fall behind because that would be a loss. The rational voice of mine inquires mildly just when we started playing a game. I'd answer it, but I'm having a lot of trouble thinking of present. She's so fast. It's because of the blades, that's not fair. How the hell does she... It's like a string pulling at my chest, a choking feeling of narrowness and pain. Before I can think of anything else, then, shit! The track disappears from under my feet. Is the world getting distorted? A glitch in the matrix? I stumble, one hand shooting down to clutch at my chest, the other hitting the track to keep me from falling on my face. Gotta protect the face. Emmy rolls around and her eyes widen. Hisao! She yells at me, sprinting from the other side of the track. I love the detail where the sprinting is faster than before. Just to show urgency and stuff. So great. What's wrong? Nothing. Just keep your breathing steady. Calm down. Don't panic. Don't panic. I also love this. Like, is it applicable in every situation? Like, okay, calm down. Don't panic. This is new to you. You have to keep steady. Calm down. I know it seems scary at first, but just relax. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Nothing's happened yet. So let's go. Do you need me to get the nurse? I close my eyes, shutting out the outside world. I don't have anxiety, but I do get anxious about doing new things. So this advice of calming down, don't panic, is really helpful. Really helps me get in the groove with things. Start the groove. My heart struggles to regain its rhythm of the night. Slowly, the pain in my chest begins to subside. Soon it's gone, like nothing happened. It was nothing? No, something happened there. Look at that goofy face. I opened my eyes again and glanced at a very worried Emmy. Very worried, very goofy looking. I think I'm fine. My voice sounds weird even to myself, oddly even and matter of fact. It makes Emmy frown. I don't think you are, you think? She seems to come to a decision and nods to herself. Right, you're coming with me. You've got to see the nurse. Emmy grabs my arm and drags me up. I feel a bit wobbly, but I refuse the shoulder Emmy offers for support. Honestly, I'm a little ashamed by my own weakness. I'd really rather not have Emmy concerned about me, but it seems to be too late. Heck, I'd really rather not have anyone concerned about my condition, though at this point it seems to be too late for that as well. Yeah, I get a feeling of not wanting to become a burden or not. I don't want to be a bother to anybody, and I don't want anybody to bother me. I'd like to be able to deal with the whole thing on my own without being a bother to anyone else. Yep, exactly. While I'm wishing for things, I'd rather not have this condition in the first place. Hey. Funny guy. Nurse. Emmy crashes into his office without knocking, but it doesn't alarm the nurse in the least. Good morning, Sunshine. What's up? Sunshine? Anyway, he... So weird. He calmly sips from his coffee mug but lays it down after following Emmy's gaze to me looming in the doorway. So, what brings you here? We were running and he stumbled over and started. Easy there, Emmy, calm down. He saw what happened. I don't know. We were running and then my chest started hurting like that time before, but it went away after a few seconds. It was just a flutter or something. The nurse frowns as if to say that just a flutter is some kind of oxymoron. I didn't mean quite this when I suggested to get some exercise. You've got to be more careful, Isao. I was being careful. Come to think of it, I just got into a race with a member of the track team. Doesn't seem as well reasoned as I thought it would. You just what? That is... I was racing Emmy. Emmy, is this true? Emmy fidgets, looking adorably contrite. Well... Finally, she can't seem to bring herself to say it aloud, and merely nods. The nurse sighs and rubs out his forehead with one hand tiredly. Emmy, you've got to be more sensitive to the limits of others. I don't know if he told you, but Hisao has a bad heart. Getting him to race you was incredibly irresponsible. Actually, I started it. The nurse is stunned by my statement. You what? We were just running and Emmy started to pull away, and so I sped up to catch her. The nurse stares at the ceiling, mutters a prayer for patience to some god or another, looks back down at the both of us. So you're both stupid. That's a comfort, I guess. Now come on, Isao. I've got to make sure your heart's not going to explode or something. I dutifully obey and follow him to the adjacent room where we ascertain that I am, in fact, not going to keel over and die. So how does it feel? I don't know, nothing much. Tired, but it might be just from the exercise. You should stay here for a few hours and rest, and we'll see how you feel after that. I am not going to object, so I lie down on the infirmary bed. A thoroughly miserable Emmy comes in after getting an earful from the nurse in the other room. I couldn't hear what he said through the closed door, but I'm sure it wasn't pleasantries. Look, I'm really sorry. I should have been more careful. Hey, you didn't know it's not your fault. She looked softly down and sorry, and my reassurances don't do anything much to cheer her up. I want to make it up to you. Again with that decisive nod. So you have to come to lunch with me. I'll bring it for you, okay? Something really good. I start with a, you don't have to, but then shut up and just nod at her when I see her face. Good. We meet on the roof. Yep, the weather's nice now, so the roof's a great spot for lunch, you know. I see. You'll come, right? You wouldn't deny me the chance to make it up to you. Of course not. Great, see you there. Adorable. If only women were like this. I stay afloat somewhere between asleep and awake, feeling completely drained. Not only my body, but all of me is limp and paralyzed, apart from my senses. I swallow with difficulty and then try to lie as still as I can, which in this state is not a very hard thing to do. The nurse is shuffling around on the other side of the curtains he drew to give me privacy. I could see his shadow shifting about in the sunlight. He has opened the window of his office. It's windy outside. The clean white curtains flutter in the breeze in a heavy, lazy motion like waves. Light sifts through them slowly, half absorbing into the fabric. Is this one of them lines like the thing is adjacent to the door? You know them pretentious writings in not visual novels, in novels in general. Just to meet that goddamn word count. I close my eyes. The breeze on my face feels like the soft fabric of the curtains. I listen to the sound of my heart before a moment, trying to shut out the sound of the nurse tapping away on his computer and my own heavy breathing. It's steady. Damn it, not even a week and I end up like this again. I really screwed up this time. Should have known better than to play the half-baked sports star in front of a real one. And why did I try to act brave? Like that heart flutter was no big deal, even when it was obvious that it was. It was just a reflex to push it away, to keep it inside. I didn't want Emmy to see it. Stupid. I have to be more careful or I will end up in the hospital again, or worse. That's my final thought before I give in to the tiredness. And he finally gave in. No more talking, no more monologue to himself. I fell asleep. For how long? What time is it? I'm feeling a little lightheaded and I keep blinking compulsively. Pushing the curtains aside, I squint my eyes against the unfiltered light pouring in from the window. The texture of the canvas feels nothing like the wind did before. The nurse looks up from his work, sitting exactly where he was before. How are you feeling? Can't really tell, so I don't answer anything. Feeling kinda groggy from falling asleep at such a weird time. Hopefully, I don't look too weird. What time is it? Me croaking the question to gain some orientation, the nurse looking at his wristwatch before answering. Things seem to happen in slow motion. 10:15. I tried to think for a moment what that means, but I'm not really sure. You didn't answer my question, so... Oh, fine. Climb down from that bed then. Let's see how you're doing. Don't... I try to do exactly that, only to sway dizzily. When I move too fast, the nurse moves to support me by an arm and sighs. Stand up too quickly is what I was going to say. Just sit there. I'll check your pressure to make sure. My good intentions sure lasted for a long time. I shut up, embarrassed with myself, while the nurse gets busy with an old-fashioned contraption in my arm. After a couple of minutes, he puts it away, looking neither pleased nor unhappy. You're all right. Head stop spinning? Yeah. Good, and how are the contents doing? You didn't show very good judgment out there, Hisao. Swallowed the retort I was going to make. It's what I was thinking myself, but hearing it stated by somebody else makes me want to protest. What he's saying is not pleasant to hear. It doesn't make him any less right. No, sir. He nodded, still looking as neutral as he was before. It would be easy to be angry at him if he said, "Told you so" or something, but he doesn't. I could try and help you to keep your health, but ultimately the last call lies with you. Hopefully this little episode will be something that'll remind you of that. Here, a note for your teacher, to avoid an interrogation. Take the slip of paper he's offering and then make my leave, as I can't think of anything else to say, nor even really want to. Stay out of trouble, you hear me? I don't think it was anything but a scare, but next time could be different. I hear ya. I'm glad to know that our ears are working. There is some way to get to the school building straight from the auxiliary building, but I'm not keen to find out and possibly get lost, so I go out from the exit that I know works. Good to know, guy. I stop at the stairs of the auxiliary building, deliberating for a moment between going to the dorms to get my books and stuff and going straight away to the class. The sun stings my eyes, don't look at it, so I head towards the dorms. Don't look at the sun, dude. The halls are quiet, as the courtyard was, naturally so since everyone is in class. I knock lightly at the door of 3-3 and push open the door when Muta calls from the other side. Sorry I'm late. 15 pairs of eyes turn to me, and apparently 15 pairs of eyes took windows, walls, and chairs. Good morning, Nakai. Muta seems to be somewhat confounded by my coming in late, as if I interrupted his flow or something. Judging from the rambling lectures his classes tend to be, that might be the case. I pass him the note the nurse gave me. Muta takes it with a nod and reads it quickly. He lifts his eyebrow and gives me a kind of stern look, but doesn't say anything, just nods solemnly again. I shrug and he gestures at me to run along, so I naturally do. Naturally? The class goes on lazily. I think I'm starting to get into the rhythm of the school. I have even stopped worrying about taking notes and being overtly attentive. The first days I was pretty high-strung in class. Muta finishes his lecture about electricity early, but continues without a pause about a festival. So, as you know, the festival is on the day after tomorrow. I hope everyone's projects are going to be successful this year. Have a good time, but also come Sunday, please keep the meaning of this festival in your minds. Games and fine food. Everyone bursts out in laughter, and so do I. Yes, thank you, Mikado. But what I meant... The remainder of his sentence is buried beneath the ring of the lunch bells, and everyone starts packing their things. Muta deliberates for a moment, but since almost nobody seems to pay attention anymore, he gives up and sits down. It's crowded in the hallway, or as crowded as hallways in the school probably get. Most of the students seem to be heading down for the cafeteria. Normally I join the floor and grab lunch myself, but today is different. Today I've been invited to lunch on the roof. An odd location, but that's where I was told to go. Fortunately, I managed to find shelter from the storm in the lee of the classroom door. Eventually the torrent subsides and I step tentatively out into the hallway. Only to be met by Emmy, who comes flouncing down the hallway like a cannonball. Hey, Sal. Great timing. I have super extra lunch today as promised. Let's go upstairs. The stairway to the roof is a little dilapidated, but it's clearly been used recently. At the top of the stairs is a door complete with missing padlock. I wonder who the intrepid individual was that removed the lock. We can guess that. Emmy shoves the door open and steps beaming into the sunlight. Oh, that has got to be hot because, yeah. Anime would always portray rooftops as the best spot in the school, but I went to a rooftop once. It was an unpleasant feeling. Unpleasant place. All of them so dirty. There's no place you can just sit around. The sun is on your face the whole time. God, it was annoying. Suddenly, a tall dark stranger appears out of nowhere, standing imposingly in front of us. Emmy flinches back, almost falling back down the stairs. Eek, hello. Yipes, you scared me, Rin. Wait, isn't she? Hello. Noticing that Rin is speaking to me, Amy looks curiously at me. You two know each other? I look confusedly at Amy. She's that friend of yours? Rin has turned her gaze towards the clouds drifting above the school. I didn't know you knew this person, Emmy. The awkward silence lasts for only a few seconds until Emmy lets out a tiny giggle, shrugging the coincidence off. I invited you out for lunch. If you know him, that's just better. Oh, does this mean I don't get food, or did you invite him for lunch without the lunch? Neither. I have food for 3. Nice thinking. They walk to the other end of the roof while I'll stay at the clock tower for a while, taking in the atmosphere. There's nobody else but us here. I guess the roof is not as popular as it is in other schools. A few rundown benches and tables are scattered around the edges, perhaps in an attempt to make the rooftop look less desolate. I mean, who would want to hang out at the rooftop in the first place? The small pebbles covering the roof rattle beneath our feet. I peek through the chain link fence to take a look at the school grounds and beyond. Students are strolling in pairs and groups around the quadrangle and at the cafeteria. A few delivery trucks are driving past the school towards the convenience store nearby. Somewhere, a watchdog barks at a passerby. Somehow, when I look towards the town center, the small town feel strikes me very strongly, almost palpably. Palpatine, Emperor. The hectic lifestyle of big metropolises seems so far away and foreign here. Nobody has to run to catch a bus like their life depended on it, or get their senses overloaded by the neon lights and traffic jams. I feel strongly optimistic about this new life of mine, looking at my new hometown, even if it's going to be mine for only one short year. Finding out about my illness and having to move away from home all came so suddenly, I haven't had time to think how I feel about it. When I step out of the shadow of the clock tower to the open, I feel warmth touching my back. The sun shines from a perfectly clear cerulean sky. A cool breeze sweeping over the rooftop makes me shiver, but only briefly. The wind carries the scent of trees and flowers, not smog and car exhaust like it used to just a few weeks ago. Emmy settles on a bench with Rin in tow and produces 1 big and 2 small lunch boxes from her bag. Come on, Isa, what are you waiting for? My cue. She's beckoning me to join them, making room on the already small bench. I seat myself on the corner of the bench to take as little space as possible. It's pretty cramped, but somehow all 3 of us fit on it. Impressive view. Emmy suppresses a giggle and places a lunchbox in front of Rin and hands another lunchbox to me. Here you go, lunch is promised. Homemade no less, I'm impressed. Wow, this looks really good. Thanks, I make it myself when I can. Conversation dies off as I set about the business of feeding myself. Taking a few bites, I glance up and notice Rin deftly opening the lunchbox and popping a forkful of food into her mouth using only her feet. Even though I've seen it before, I can't help but be impressed at her dexterity. It's also a reminder of the sort of place I am in right now. Will I ever get used to sights such as this? Can't decide if getting used to such a thing would be a good thing or a bad thing either. Does getting used to this place mean that I'm giving up on being a normal person? Or does it mean that I'm becoming more understanding of those around me? Whoa. I'm distracted from my thoughts by the sight of Emmy tearing into her lunch as if it had insulted her ancestors. You seem pretty hungry. Emmy looks up, mouth half full, and swallows before nodding. My morning run always works up an appetite. Which is great because then I burn through lunch pretty quickly. Helps me keep my girlish figure. What would happen if you'd lose it? Would you become a man? I nearly choke on my lunch trying not to laugh. It's a figure of speech. Does your figure have to run in the mornings too? Do you always talk like this? Talk like what? Like what? I think that answers my question. Never mind. So, I struggle to think of small talk and settle on the obvious question. How'd you two meet? Rin seems content to let Emmy answer this question. Someone in the housing department thought that we'd complement each other well, so we were assigned rooms next to one another. complement each other? Like shoes in a suit. Huh? Emmy giggles at my confusion. Put us together and we've got all our limbs. Get it? Ah. So I started helping Rin get ready in the mornings, and that was that. I mean, you can't help someone get dressed every morning and not get along. I see. Rin chooses this moment to interject. I have trouble with shirts. I can imagine. Right, that seems fairly obvious. Really? Kinda? This isn't helping, but at least Amy seems to find the whole thing funny. That, combined with the fact that Rin is generally curious, makes me feel slightly better and yet confused. I mean, you've got no arms. So putting on the shirt seems like one of those things that would be difficult. You know what? I'm just going to stop talking now. It'll save me a lot of trouble in the long run. Rin nods in what I suspect is meant to be a sage manner. I see. The conversation dies as I turn my attention back to my lunch. It's really quite good. Amy finishes her lunch first and makes a contented noise. Ah, that was good. As she busies herself with cleaning up her lunch, Rin speaks up. I'm thirsty. Oh, I almost forgot about that. Sorry. With a flourish, she reaches into her bag and removes a trio of juice boxes. She tosses me one that appears to be cranberry juice, one to Rin that appears to be some kind of strawberry milk, complete with pink color scheme, and keeps an equally pink box of some kind of fruit punch for herself. Rin dexterously stabs her straw through the top of her box and begins to drink. Wow, that's a mouthful. I'm once again impressed by how flexible she is, but this time I keep my comment to myself. Somehow I don't think either Emmy or Rin are the sorts of people to think twice about the way they work around their particular disabilities. Rin especially so. Indeed, she gives off the impression of being entirely unaware that she's missing any limbs at all. Whether or not that's a conscious decision is another matter. I'm honestly not sure. So, Isao, how do you like it up here? The sun is on my face. It's quite nice actually. I like high places for the view. Thanks for inviting me up here. And for the lunch too. Emmy grins a 1,000-watt grin. Pleased by my response, I suppose. No problem. Feel free to eat with us next time too, okay? I won't make you a lunch, but you can bring your own up here. No lunch service? I don't know. Emmy looks mock offended. Trying to take advantage of my good nature? The nerve. She giggles. Well, if that's your answer, I guess Rin and I will just keep eating lunch all alone. I'm suddenly assaulted by the most heart-rending puppy dog eyes I've ever seen as Emmy pouts. Kidding, I was kidding. I love to eat lunch up here again. Good location, the company's okay too. Emmy frowns a bit at my declaration of okay, but seems happy enough that I've accepted her invitation. I guess this makes us friends now. Or at least acquaintances. The lunch bell rings, signaling a return downstairs. Rin, you didn't finish your lunch again. I wasn't that hungry. If you don't eat more, you're going to fade away. Rin shrugs as if this is an acceptable risk. Come on, we'd better get going. The three of us headed down the stairs together. The afternoon class passes. Once again, I find myself without a plan for something to do after school, so I head to the library to return a couple of the books I finished reading. Walking inside, I see that there are about as many students here as there were on Tuesday, all the more evident from the almost total silence enveloping the room. Oh, there you are. As I drop the books I'd borrowed into the return slot in the counter, Yuko suddenly pounces up from behind it, quite startled from the banging they make as they hit the trolley next to her. Sorry, Yuko. Didn't mean to startle you. No, that's fine. It happens a lot. I'm used to it by now. I can imagine. Can I help you? It's okay. I think I know where everything is. Thanks anyway. I suppose I'll grab another book or two while I'm here. There's not much else to do, and after reading so much during my stay in the hospital, it's become a hard habit to break. I wandered down to the fiction section towards the back of the library, scanning the bookshelves for anything that catches my eye. I wonder if she's here again. What's her name? Forgot. As I do, I look over to the corner where Hanako, oh, there you are, had been the last time I was here, not really expecting anything to come of it. There she is. Surprisingly, though, she's there, absorbed completely in a fairly thick book. I decide against intruding on her like last time and get back to finding reading material. Good call. After an indiscernible amount of time spent perusing the aisles, I finally decide on a couple of books to get to slide them off the shelf. With a minimum of fuss, I quickly walk over to the counter, check out my books, and pump them into my bag as I walk out. By the time I leave the main building, sunset isn't too far away. A small trickle of students remain, but the majority have left, presumably to their homes and dorms. Feeling utterly drained, I head to my room to read the books I borrowed. There's been enough action and excitement for one day already. The first is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I know the story, of course, but I've never actually read the original book. Yeah, it's weird that I know the movie more than the story itself. Maybe I should try reading it sometime. It's just as trippy as I remember the story to be. With the wacky characters and nonsense plot, I start thinking of myself as some kind of an Alice too, helplessly tumbling down the rabbit hole into this crippled wonderland. Hey, that's not politically correct anymore. Okay, that's a rather strong expression. Still, the isolated location and the overt way the school accommodates to absolutely everything is unsettling. It's like another world. I wonder why I can't shake the feeling of being an outsider like Alice, despite most everyone being so hospitable and friendly with me. Turning another page, my mind starts drifting further away from the book. It's quiet. I can hear my heartbeat thumping against the fabric of my shirt. For some reason, it makes me feel really bad, like it has since that time in the forest with Iwanako, like I was locked in a cage with something nasty and scary. And it's going dark. I put the book down for a while and stare at the ceiling, taking my time to shake off the feeling. 200 pages later, I fall asleep. Kyo. And 30 minutes later, I think I should stop it here because I have to prepare for work. God, it's so refreshing to see this writing again. Actual good writing? Man, as much as I love to shit on things that are funny to me, this is a lifesaver. Let's say at the top here, or maybe 3, yeah. So this is Katawa Shoujo. If you want to try the game for yourselves, the links are in the description. That is all for today. Stay safe and take care of yourselves.